Assalamu alaikum. Dear listeners, peace be with you. My name is Esam Mudeer. I'm a researcher on comparative religion, evangelism, and Vatican affairs from the holy city of Mecca, Arabia. And I'm no stranger to members of the Vatican. I've been there in 1995, interviewed a few bishops, pastors, and conducted the first interview for the newspapers in Saudi Arabia with one of the Pope's right-hand men at the time. And I'm speaking of Pope John Paul II then. And in 2006, I made a statement that was carried away by local newspapers in Saudi Arabia and beyond in the Arab world and Muslim world regarding the current Pope's statement and lecture about our Prophet of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be with him, as to why he said what he said, to which he then had to apologize for. And he said to the Muslim world that he's sorry, he was misunderstood. But that wasn't what I concerned myself with. I wanted the world to know that it was a cover-up for something that bothered the Pope Benedict very much and almost drove him nuts. What was that? I announced then that there were at least, and there's 35 bishops, top aides, and priests within the Vatican who, listen very carefully, embraced Islam, and many of them choose to remain hidden and conceal their faith, fearing for their lives. And if you want to wonder as to why should they fear for their lives, is the Vatican going to harm them or kill them? Yes, you will need to read a very dangerous book that's available, even in Arabic. It was translated a few years ago. It's called The Entity. In Arabic, it's titled Al-Kayan by Eric Frantini. You need to get that book and read about the Vatican, the dark side of the Vatican, and the operations, the secret operations, bloody ones that it carries against its opponents, and people it fears might expose them. So yes, these people who embrace Islam had good reasons to fear for their lives. Some of them were kicked by the Pope himself, excommunicated, and they left and on the promise that they should hide from public eye. And if you need to wonder, because the Pope himself, when he quits, and this recording comes on for that reason, and on this occasion, this week he announced, the Pope, the current one, that he quits his job. And then he announced day before yesterday that he is going to remain hidden from the world. So if the Pope can hide after he quits, one should understand that his top aides who embrace Islam chose to hide as well for good reasons. So the Pope is hiding as well. And back then in 2006, I said that I know many of those top aides who embraced Islam, one of whom traveled to South Africa and remained there now practicing his Muslim life, and that there are at least 3 who remained inside the Vatican, undercover Muslims, after they chose to embrace Islam. And the Pope still don't know about them. Of course, many people ask me for my proof and evidence for that, as if we haven't seen a number of members of the Vatican, priests from the Vatican, and Catholic priests embracing Islam. In fact, if you were to search, especially in the Arab media, for such individuals, you shall find them even conducting interviews on Arab satellite television. So priests and people from within the Vatican embracing Islam is nothing new. But of course you don't get to hear about them, or you get to see their faces in Western media, which is very biased against Islam and Muslims. You only hear about Bin Laden, you only hear about other types of Muslims, but not about people often who chose to embrace Islam, especially from within the Vatican. But inshallah, God willing, you're going to get to hear about them more and more now that the Pope quits. Mark my words. So in 2006, I posed a challenge to the Vatican through the media that I'm willing to go again to Rome, and I'm willing to go there, and these guys are willing to come out of the closet, those who were there at the time, inside, call upon their names one after the other on live television. And I dared the Vatican to call me a liar or respond. So some of the members of the media contacted the Vatican at the time, demanding a response to my claim. And they were shocked to hear the Vatican, officials in the Vatican, tell them, no comment. No comment? And for 6 years, over 6 years now, this is the year 2013, in September it will be 7 years. For almost 7 years, they kept silent about this. No comment. And if you wonder if the Vatican won't reply this way, think again. Because today, according to the Daily Telegraph of Britain, I read the headline that the Pope now is accused of being a criminal against humanity. He is accused of crimes against humanity. And when the newspaper contacted the Vatican to comment on this new accusation, the Vatican said, no comment. Sounds familiar? Well, I've heard that. My friends in the media heard that. And today, this very day, you hear from the Vatican telling you, no comment. As much as the Pope is hiding, those people, those priests who embraced Islam, had to go on hiding as well for their lives. So, what is new? The Pope quits. And he's going to go away, not replying to all of that, and not only him, not a single man from the Vatican or a single Catholic priest, even in the Arab world, in Lebanon, in Jordan, in Egypt. I wrote to them all, and they're all silent. And I've seen the Pope's account on Twitter. I wrote to him, no reply. I wrote to his aides, especially from the Arabic countries, no reply, nothing. So I had to record this to tell you that it's not just for that sake, for that reason that the Pope had to quit, only because 35 or 30 people embrace Islam and 3 are inside the Vatican, the Pope had to quit. Come on, man. You might be thinking now in your head. No. There are so many reasons and factors playing together in causing the Pope to quit his job. I'm not saying that's the only reason, but the obvious reasons that are coming out right now, they don't explain why a Pope quits, because Catholics were shocked. Ask Catholics. They didn't expect that. They didn't know that a Pope can quit. What about infallibility? That the Pope is infallible, according to their belief, and it's in their belief system. So did he choose to quit, when it left him, or while he's still infallible? And they find it very troubling spiritually, shaking their faith to the core. It cannot, it cannot happen to them. It means the end of the world. One Catholic wrote on Twitter, you can't quit on the Lord. It's BS. excuse my English, I mean, it's bullshit. That's what he said. That's what he wrote. It's shocking. And many newspapers in the world speak about how it was, disturbing, to say the least, to many Catholic churches and members of the Catholic faith. So, first they told us that he quitted for, getting too old, and then they said they leaked information that he might have had a bypass heart surgery, secret one. And then they said he went on a trip somewhere, I guess it was Mexico, and he hit his head with something, or somebody hit him. And they keep coming with different reasons. As for his poor health, so they're saying, I mean, come on. Why? I mean, this is very unimaginable. You can't say that. As a Catholic priest, as a member of the Christian faith, you can't say that about the Pope, because they all read in the Gospel according to Mark, chapter 16, beginning with verse 17, quoting Jesus Christ himself. So they tell us, telling them, all Christians of all denominations and churches, and these signs will accompany those who believe. In my name, Jesus speaking, they will drive out demons. They will speak in new tongues. They will pick up snakes with their hands. And when they drink deadly poison, it will not hurt them. It will not harm them. They will place, listen very carefully now, about the last sign among signs that accompany those who believe. They will place their hands on sick people and they will get well. So when the Pope gets sick, all these bishops and priests and monks and nuns, around him, all his Christian true believers didn't place their hands on him, and he didn't get well. Because this is one of the signs that follow and accompany those who truly believe according to Jesus Christ in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 16. So if the Pope didn't get well, the Pope, not anybody, the Pope himself didn't get well, little wonder now that you read also about Catholics and other Christians in Twitter telling the world that they've lost faith. They're out. They also quit. Not quit their jobs. They quit on being Catholics, or they quit on being Christians. It's very hard. Why? Why did he do something like this that he knew and his men knows it will have these repercussions? It's an earthquake. It's the most dangerous thing facing the Catholic Church, also due to the fact that they all knew that him quitting his job will also open more Pandora boxes, and there will be more news and more news coverage and more reports about